Well, you got to figure musicians or working musicians are first and foremost performers. I don't want them sitting in a classroom performing to their students all day long, which is very easy to do. To the young up and comer who wants to be a true musician.
So, how old are the people? How old are the average age? Is it all ages for your students?
I have a TOTS program where we have mom and child. That starts at 2 years old.
Oh my goodness!
My youngest piano teacher. Well,
2 years old.
Well, we're using hand percussion, bell instruments, and things of that nature, and just in sing-alongs and things like that. And they're already comfortable to sit on mom's lap. We'll have a teacher sitting there at the piano. Absolutely. And we'll do some sing-alongs and things like that. But we'll give them all a little bell instrument, and we'll cue them.
So they get to know the rhythm, where to come in. Yeah, why not?
And then they trot on, and hopefully when they're at the right age and being in the facility and just being immersed with all these instruments, they'll choose their instruments, and they have an opportunity to, well, maybe piano's not for me. They'll try it, and then maybe guitar, and move on from them. We teach it all: horns, winds, strings, guitar, bass, piano. We try to in songwriting, in scoring, in charting.
How do you teach songwriting, Joe?
Have a songwriter teach it.
Well, yeah, there is that.
What is a songwriter? A songwriter is a storyteller.
Yes, that's right.
A great storyteller, and you put it to music, and it almost writes itself when you sit with the right person. When magic starts to happen, in most songs today, 3-chord progression. You know what I mean? And you start with a single chord and a single word, and the song will almost write itself. We all have stories to tell.
Oh, yes.
And we tell everyone who wants to write a song, well, write what you know about. Start with some simple 12-bar blues. I didn't study them for my test today. And what was the result?
And then it becomes a real blues song. The result was terrible.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Said I didn't study for my test today. And my teacher gave me a bad grade, she don't play. So I've got to get home before my mama and dad.
That's good.
Well, that was a 12-bar?
Yeah, straight 12-bar. Status Quo did their whole livelihood on 12-bar.
I didn't study for my test, we just wrote a song. But that's a great example on how we teach songwriting.
Yeah.
I mean, so we'll show them what is possible. This is what I want you to do. We'll really try to blow their mind and get them all excited. A couple little things, like a little tapping or things like that. And then kids say, wow, I've never seen anything like that in my life. How do I do that? So again, we'll give them a little tease, just exactly what Tony just did. So that's what my teachers are expected to do. And we'll design a lesson plan around the particular individual, because every kid is different.
That's right. And it may not work out for some of them. You hear of some people that are completely tone deaf. I have heard it. And singing in some of the best choirs, but still.
Absolutely. And some people don't realize that it does take some work, and it does take some time, and it does take some commitment. And you should be committed to your craft. And if you are, and if you do give me the honest 15 minutes a day, and I don't mean just sit in your room and noodling all day in your guitar. I mean, going over your lesson plan, working on your scales, working on your modes.
Yes.
What a tool. When I first discovered modes, it was a whole new world to me. You know what I mean? And a mode is just another way to play a scale. Once you teach a kid his first mode, and he can realize it, and he says, whoa, they're doing that in this particular song that I hear. That's a Mixolydian that he's playing, or that's a Dorian. Right? And then it clicks.
Yeah.
And this is where this lead came, whether it be on a piano, or whether it be on a violin, or whether it be on a guitar. When they're home practicing that mode, they'll make that mode your own. Leave out a couple of notes, add a little note, add a little sharp here, or add a flat there, and then show them. And then they take on the life of their own, and then they come in and they'll blow your mind. I've got kids now that started with me 10 years ago as 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. Now they have their own garage bands. And I've had kids that started with me back in the day that was 16, 17 years old. Now they're teaching for me.
Yeah.
Now these are kids.
How cool is that?
Oh, a couple of my very best teachers started off as students.
So how many teachers have you got there, Joe?
We have 12 teachers, and we deliver 300 lessons a week on average.
Oh my goodness.
So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, we have a number of recitals a year. We try to do 4 a year, give the kids an opportunity.
So you put on a concert?
Oh, absolutely. So it's a recital. And when we have so many kids, it would be daunting to try to do 300 kids at once, because you have folks that have to sit through. They're waiting for their child to go on. So what we'll do is we'll break it up into 3 or 4 recitals in one day.
So do they do it in the studio, or do you have a stage where you can?
We have a place in my little town. We have a town annex that has a stage, and it's a big room, and there's tables and chairs, and we'll put out like a little spread for everybody. Mm-hmm. Very comfortable. They come and they watch everyone else play, and it's excellent. But it's not for everybody. Some people have stage fright, and especially some of the younger people that just don't want to get out there. It's not for them. So what we offer up is, let's go in the studio and let's make a recording for Mom and Dad and Nana and Grandpa, and maybe play a little piano piece.
That's very clever. I mean, then it's really good.
So there's no stress.
You got it down, man. You got it down.
They're there with their teacher. Their teacher helps them through.
Yeah.
And they'll record their little piano piece, and we'll take.
But they never stop learning. I mean, they can keep coming back.
Me and Tony haven't stopped learning.
No.
So talking of that, you said you got a project for Tony, and I said to you last night.
Well, right now we're working on a project together, but Tony has a project that we're going to collaborate on. He's got several pieces that we need to bring to the next level.
Okay.
And that he's written and that are ready to rock, and we just have to bring in a good ensemble cast of characters and get it done.
And so, and I asked you last night when we were talking, I said, of all the musicians that you know, you've got this idea for a certain guitar sound or a certain style. I said, how the hell do you know who to bring in for that?
Just listening and paying attention. Like Tony, for example. I enjoy reading his book. Facebook. It's a wonderful tool today.
Yeah, it is. We use it.
Because we're spread out all across the world, but we all love to share what we do, where we go, where our journey has brought us. I know the caliber of musician he is already.
Yeah.
I was working on this particular project, and this was a good match for me.
Yeah.
I've known him forever.
Do you know, it's what you just said there, Joe, is absolutely right. We talked about it last night. These projects that you do gain momentum by themselves. And some things like songs, I listened to some songs and I thought, that must have just taken 3 seconds to do it, just zap, flowed. Other ones seem to have been hard to put together. And I listened to some of the guitar riffs, and I think, well, it's a great guitar riff, but I'm not sure it flows on from the music. And so it's the whole thing. Now, when you get a first song or a tune, do you then listen to it a few times and then you can just envision the whole thing, what goes where, or does that grow as you go along?
Oh, absolutely.
But he plays all these instruments as well.
Well, I wouldn't think anyone wouldn't play an instrument.
But you know almost by instinct what goes where and what you want to hear. And if you're anticipating to hear something as you listen to a song and it doesn't happen, well, then you make it happen. Before we bring them in, we first have to sit down and we have to do a writing session. We have to chart this stuff out.
Yeah. So this is a new single tone?
Not for me. This is for a guy named Steve Austin. Phenomenal song.
It is a phenomenal song, and it really got my attention. And
so what's the song called?
Shake Your Body.
Shake Your Body.
Yeah. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted people to listen to it and not be able to help themselves. Their body's shaking before they even know it.
Yeah.
And that's where we're heading with. It really fills it all in, and the magic starts to happen. And then percussion. It's not just a simple cap behind a drum set. There's a lot more to it. We've got a lot of hand percussion in there, congas, bongos, timbales, xylophone.
How do you keep all this sound moving? I mean, all the instruments that you're talking about, I'm thinking, this is going to be an overwhelming sound. How do you get to separate them so that you can hear each piece?
Well, they're not all playing at the same time, you got to figure as well. There's different parts of the song, and it's not flooding the entire song, it's coming in at the intervals,
yeah.
So again, when you're listening to the song, you're hearing yourself, geez, right there, I need to get a little bit of a build. I need to build up some anticipation. What am I going to use to do that?
But what an investment of time and imagination goes into this. So when are you going to start this, Tony? When are you going to start this with Joe, or have you already started
it?
Started. You've already started?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I know the Noodle is Tony's second home again.
Yeah, and everybody, if you ever come to the States, you've got to head for Indianapolis and go to the Slippery Noodle. It's right downtown, you can't miss it. And you were playing with Bootsy.
Yeah, that was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I really wanted to come up and say hi to him because he's in Martha's book and he features as one of the band members, Bootsy Collins. Yeah. Well, it's fascinating. So once again, the name of your school is?
On the Fringe.
Well,
On the Fringe.
My studio is called On the Fringe Studios. My little town is called West Newbury, so what better name for the school than West Newbury School of Music?
West Newbury School of Music.
Yeah, so I wanted the community to feel that this was a community-based business. This was for the community, was for the musicians in the area.
From 2 years old up to whenever you want, you can still hold an instrument.
I have students in their 80s, and I mean that most sincerely. You're never too old.
What was it you said? Was it one of you that said it's better to be...
Oh, it was Tony who said
What did you say?
It's better to be seen than viewed.
Well, yeah, and I got to explain that for our European friends. In the States, when you pass away, they have a viewing. You know, you're lying in your coffin. I don't know that we do that in England. There's a lot of people that have passed that I don't particularly want to see them when they're alive, let alone when they're dead. So I'm not sure about that. But Joe, it was really fascinating talking with you. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And would you like to say goodbye to everyone at Glowtime Radio?
Cheers at everyone at Glowtime Radio. It's been a pleasure sharing my time with you today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And you, Tony, thank you so much for introducing me to this guy. Absolutely.
Shake Your Body's coming your way.
Shake Your Body. So as soon as that comes out, Sandy and Mark and Dee, we're going to get it on the radio station in Europe.
I'm going to make sure that you get it.
Oh, yeah, and we will be playing it. So this is Tony Moore saying, and Dee, we're going to get it on the radio station in Europe.
I'm going to make sure that you get it.
Oh, yeah, and we will be playing it. So this is Tony Moore saying goodbye.